Hey everybody, we wanted to start off this week's episode talking about a new electronics brand that Morgan and I are obsessed with, and they're called Sudio.
Sudio makes headphones and earbuds that not only have outstanding sound quality, but they also design headphones as an accessory that you'll be excited to wear around.
So true. Morgan and I both got the Black Regent design, which are Sudio's premium on-ear model, and they're so cute.
So cute.
So cute. The combination of high-polished metal and matte surfaces embodies the vision of Scandinavian design. They also come with custom-designed interchangeable caps, so you can change them up whenever you feel like it.
Change it up for your mood. Regent are the perfect companion for anyone on the go. They will connect to any device that has Bluetooth, or you can use an aux cord that they also provide. And they also give you 24 plus hours of battery life.
That's a lot of life.
That's life.
Now, don't get us wrong. These headphones are handy, super chic, and contemporary, but they also deliver some of the best sound quality I've ever heard. They provide impeccable clarity in instrumental tones, well-balanced sound, and definition.
Sudio also has a multitude of earbuds, from hard pairs to those nice soft ones that are great for people like me with little tiny ear holes and they get sore.
I get it. You can get a pair of your own Sudio headphones today, and if you use our offer code, the Sisters Grimm, you can get 15% off your entire order.
That's right. Use promo code The Sisters Grimm. That's TheSistersGrimm. That's right, 2 M's, to get 15% off your very own pair of Sudio headphones or earbuds. Trust us, you won't be disappointed.
The Sisters Grimm Podcast is intended for mature audiences only. Please listen at your own discretion. Tiptoe through the window.
The blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
The most notorious serial killer in the nation, the Night Stalker.
The Boston Strangler.
The Son of Sam. The infamous Zodiac Killer.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Get away from her, you bitch!
Welcome to the Sisters Grimm Podcast.
How'd you do this? Show you.
Just had to start.
No, I didn't mean for it to.
So you're just cracking your body right now?
This hip just really needed to, like...
Your hip needed to be cracked?
My hip really needed to go that way for a second.
Okay, I feel you.
Okay.
So welcome to the Sisters Grimm Podcast.
Wait, why? You were recording, you dumb...
I hit the button on accident.
On accident? Oh, you hit it on accident? Yeah, I was doing primal yoga.
You were doing like Lotus or something.
Yeah,
here.
you guys missed my scream therapy.
It seemed nice. So,
we're the Sisters Grimm, if you guys forgot.
We've been on a little bit of a hiatus.
We've been on hiatus. Morgan has a new job. Morgan moved. I'm lazy and have depression.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So much shit happened.
Mostly moving is just... it's hard, you guys.
And Morgan lost power at her old apartment when she was moving, and now doesn't have power at her current apartment.
It's like this whole
tough subject.
Thing that when you move into a place on the 8th, and then you forget to
learn how to
turn your energy on, you don't have any for a second, but that's okay.
It's hard to be a grown up, you guys.
It is.
It's really hard. It's like hard. So Morgan, obviously, we need to talk about the elephant in the room, which is
the Halloween trailer.
The Halloween
trailer, and the fact that the new It got casted. And it's the most amazing thing.
It's a really good cast.
Yeah, so Jessica fucking Chastain as fucking Beverly. So I think they had a video, a fan-made video of who people wanted to be in it, and Jessica Chastain was one of them. So was Bill Hader, who's going to be Richie.
Interesting. Who did they have him as? Did they have them as those people?
Yeah.
Weird.
But then they had other people as the other characters, but James McAvoy's in it. He's grown-up Bill. And then the dude who plays grown-up Eddie's really hot.
He looks like a proper Eddie.
He's really hot. And
he looks like
a proper
Eddie.
He was in Sinister and Sinister 2.
Oh, yeah, I think I saw that.
He played the deputy.
Cool.
But the Halloween trailer.
The Halloween trailer, we watched it at work. It gave me chills.
Yeah,
My mouth dropped. It looks... Watch it. We posted it on the
Facebook page.
The FB.
Or you can go to, like, any website ever.
Literally just go to Google and search Halloween.
You guys know how to use the internet.
Yeah, we assume that if you found this podcast, you didn't just stumble upon it. If you did, though, cool.
Cool.
How are you?
Yeah.
How
so
are
you
you
said
doing
you had
in
some
life?
stuff about movies you wanted to
Yeah,
talk about.
I, like, got really into, honestly, a lot of things last night, but I won't get into all of them. I started looking at all of the pardons that presidents have done.
Given.
And Roosevelt, Teddy, my apartment is like haunted. Teddy Roosevelt,
what was that noise?
or not Teddy,
Theodore?
the other one,
Wait, no, that's Teddy.
Franklin,
Sure.
Frankie D's. Excuse me. He had the most pardons, but he was also president for 12 years. And Obama also, like, it was crazy reading all of his, but all of his were like helping reduce the sentences of people who were in prison
For, like, a wrongful...
Well, not wrongful. Like, they did something wrong, but it was more they needed a more minor sentence, and it was all drug stuff. Yeah. But I've like
I'm glad
the first thing that George W. Bush, one of the first people he pardoned was giving Henry Lee Lucas, the serial killer, life imprisonment instead of the death penalty, which is fucking bogus. And I never knew that Bill Clinton pardoned his brother. So that, because he, like, had a DUI and he pardoned him. Like, it's really bad.
It's weird the things that you pardon. Like, I'm glad that, or at least I've heard that Trump is going to pardon Martha Stewart.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Which is, like, she deserves that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I mean, she served her time. Technically, she should already be... She's fine. He did someone posthumously. Like, it's after the fact. She served her time. She's not considered... Like, whatever.
Anyways, about these movies that you're
it's about these. So okay, again, then I got into another hole of like upcoming horror movies, and I wanted to see if there were some that Morgan hadn't heard about because she usually always knows. And I had a pen here that I was going to use to mark things off. Oh, but then Morgan started being annoying with it.
I drew a couple dots on my hand.
No, you were opening it and closing it, and it was weirding me out. Okay, so have you heard about the new Quentin Tarantino, the new pasta from
Quentin
Tarantino. Yeah, no, the new dish at Olive Garden.
But no, I actually haven't heard of that.
It's called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's, like I said, Quentin Tarantino. It's a modern retelling of the infamous Charles Manson story.
Yes, I have heard of this.
You have heard of this? And it's kind of from the point of view of some of Sharon Tate's neighbors.
Yeah.
And
I heard her family's not happy about it.
Oh, really? Then that's sad.
How brutal it's probably going to be because it's fucking
QT. Oh, God. Oh, and yeah, and there is a part where he says, he's like, I'm going back to my Pulp Fiction days.
Yeah, so it's probably going to be pretty graphic.
So wait, this is weird. So then that means, okay, well, it's actually not that weird. So that means in this universe, because as we've established before, Quentin Tarantino, aka what we're going to call him now, there was one episode we called him QT the whole time.
QT, Quentin Tarantino,
whatever. All of his movies take place in the same universe where
Hitler was brutally killed. Yeah.
So everyone's really violent. So that's probably why it would be more violent.
Yeah.
So there's certain points in
how
times.
How could that be any more fucking violent?
I know, right? Ugh. Zoinks. Okay, so I'm gonna count that as a you knew that. So you get a point. About it.
I just wasn't really thinking.
This one you may. Hey, Tuesday's here. P.S.
Snort, you guys.
This you may or may not know. So there's going to be a new documentary about. Serial, the first season with Adnan.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's going to be an actual documentary.
It's called The Case Against Adnan Syed. No. To be announced. It's coming out sometime in 2019. Cool. And it's going to be HBO, so it's probably going to be
so fucking good.
It's going to be really, really, really
oh my
good.
God, it's going to be so good. Do you know who's directing it?
Amy Berg. I don't know what else she's done, but
it sounds familiar.
Sounds really good. Okay, so that's a point for me.
I had not heard that one.
Have you heard of the movie Stockholm? It's going to be like kind of a telling of the the original, like, Stockholm story of the 1973 bank heist. No. And, yeah, they ended up bonding with their captors and turned against the authorities. And Ethan Hawke and Noomi...
that doesn't sound horror. That sounds more like thriller.
Well, but I mean, Stockholm Syndrome is, like, a big thing. I mean, I don't know if you'd heard about it.
It's a thing. No, I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it sounds cool. I only picked... I mean, there's a lot of fucking shit coming out. Right. I didn't pick stupid ones. So that's one for me. So, we all obviously know that Mindhunters is coming out with another season. But did you know that this season, they're mainly focusing on the Atlanta child murders?
Ooh.
So that's what it's Mindhunter Atlanta child murders this season, apparently.
That's like what it's called?
Yeah, so there's
cool.
like, as we all know, there is that, as, you know, the true crime, I don't know, should we just fucking say it at this point? All the, like, little like, cold opens with all of the dude.
Yeah, they're all fucking
It's all BTK. Yeah, so, but I wonder if they're gonna continue with that.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Maybe this one it'll be someone different every first time, and then...
This game I feel like is kind of rigged, and I feel like it doesn't really matter. But there's like some that I really...
I get that one. I knew Mindhunters was coming back.
Yeah, but that's like, I just thought that was cool. Have you heard of The House That Jack Built? It's going to be the newest Lars von Trier movie.
No, I have not heard.
It's going to come out sometime this year. Theatrical release, and it's going to have Matt Dillon and Uma Thurman, and it follows a serial killer over a period of 12 years.
Cool.
And
that sounds
with
really
Lars von Trier, like,
yeah, it's gonna be real fucking crazy.
Wow, that I'm like,
hello.
Yes. Did you know that they are remaking Jacob's Ladder?
No. Oh, yes.
You did know that?
I did know that.
Yeah.
Who's the girl?
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
Okay.
I kind of hope it's just Tim Robbins again and, like, the whole... Because, I mean, like, if you've never seen... the original came out a very long time ago. Yeah. It's basically, like, everything in the movie are, like, the final moments leading up to his, like, actual death. Mm. The end gets so weird. Yeah. So, actually, it could be interesting.
It could be cool. Depending on who's making it.
Did you know that they're remaking The Grudge?
Why?
I don't. That's what I said too, but I didn't know if you knew.
No, why?
I'm guessing by that why that you didn't
remaking things.
Wait, but did you say you had heard that they're redoing Jacob's Ladder?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, cool. So cool. They're redoing I Know What You Did Last Summer. Did you know that?
No,
but like
I'm excited. Who's gonna be in it?
Don't know.
J-Love Hughes?
Hoy. I could have been looking at some of this actually.
Hugh tits?
Let me see. Wait, did you... Who's tits?
Jennifer Love Huge tits.
Oh, right. Also, the next in the, split with James McAvoy.
Yeah, I did hear about
Glass is coming out the first, January 18th.
Lots of good James McAvoy things happening.
By M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong. And, also Jordan Peele is going to have a new movie coming out called Us. And it's going to be about a white couple
I didn't
and
know
a black
what the
couple.
fuck it was called.
Yes, so we don't know a whole lot about it.
I'm excited.
Also, 48 Meters
Also,
Down.
me and Holly came up with a really cool movie idea.
Oh, we did.
Let's not talk about it yet, though.
No. We have to fucking get that copy written first. Conjuring 3, of course.
Yes.
Conjuring 3. Okay, so you did not know about I Know What You Did. Oh, so there's going to be another...
How is this a game?
I don't know, but it's, like, fun. So there's going to be one, Mary Harron. She made American Psycho, the movie. She's coming out with a movie in 2019 called Charlie Says, and it is about Charles Manson and his followers. You haven't heard of this one?
I mean, there's so much Charles Manson stuff coming out all
and
the
this
time.
is my big thing. Matt Smith, who played the 11th Doctor from Doctor Who.
Is he the one without the eyebrows?
He's the one with no eyebrows. He's playing Charles Manson. I don't
see that at all.
I don't know how I feel about that.
No, he's very tall and
the biggie
statuesque, which I would not say about Charles Manson.
He moves around like a man who is unaware of his own limbs.
Yeah.
Unless he's, I don't know. I haven't seen a whole lot else that he's been in. He's in that Victoria show about like the Queen or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, just stands there. And then the last one is, did you know that they confirmed 100% is going to be another Friday the 13th movie? You knew that?
Yeah.
Cool.
I hope it's this really good script by, I don't remember his name now, but the one that It's on bloodydisgusting.com. You can find it.
I think actually you win because I think there's no winners or losers. I think it's better that you found out all these new things.
Yeah, no, I'm down. There's a new Friday the 13th, or Nightmare on Elm Street, I'm pretty sure, coming out this year, too. I also heard that they're redoing...
There's a new Suspiria.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the original.
Dude, it has...
fucking
what's
good.
her name,
It has
right?
What's-Her-Face in it. I know who you're talking about,
Is it Dakota something?
Dakota something, yes, is in it.
Is
but
it?
Also,
is that her name?
Mm-hmm, but there's also someone else in it who's so good, and I feel so bad.
Oh, yes, and I can never remember her name.
Oh, it's Chloe Montiel.
Well, no, and
Monteith.
also, What's-Her-Face is in it.
There needs to be a better word for What's-Her-Face in this world.
Yeah, no, hang on. Let me look it up. You keep talking, and I'm going to look it up, because...
I'm going to vamp. So, What's-Her-Face and What's His Face? Like, why is it your face?
Dakota Johnson and Tilda Swinton.
Oh, yeah. Swinton.
If
Tilda Swinton's in it, it's going to be terrifying, because speaking of no eyebrows, that woman has no eyebrows.
None. So should we talk about what this episode's, like, actually about?
Yeah, I mean,
it's been
Sisters 15
Grimm,
minutes.
You know, this is season 2, you guys, and we're starting it out with some.
Apparently, we're doing
celebrity murders.
Yeah, celeb murds. That's not something appropriate to but
to shorten.
That's not either. Okay,
you want to tell your?
So I will go with my
celebrity
first
murder. I mean, we could talk about obviously OJ. We could talk about obviously the Manson murders.
Well, but those are obviously going to get their own epis
at some point.
Yeah, no. I want to do a whole Manson.
Yeah.
I want to do a 25-part Manson episode.
72.
Yeah, no, 72. It's going to be a whole year of
Manson episodes.
Manson.
They're going to be for it, guys. Season 3, just Manson.
It's just going to be 10 minutes long.
So who's your first?
My first is Judith Barsi. There are a lot to choose from, but I chose her because she is the little girl from Jaws the Revenge, aka Jaws 4, which we talked about.
Yeah.
She's like that little girl in that movie. She's the one, she's the granddaughter.
She was murdered?
Yes. She was the original voice of Ducky from The Land Before Time. Do you remember? The yep.
Oh my
God.
the
really, really cute one.
I love Land Before Time.
Yeah, the original, the OG Land Before Time is the
good,
only... No, the first one is the only Littlefoot, those fucking leaves, when they find all those leaves at the end.
I'm a long neck at heart.
Oh my god. Sharptooth, that made me scared of dinosaurs. So, she also voiced Anarchy in the movie All Dogs Go to Heaven, which was made by Don Bluth, who also made... I hope Tuesday Snoring's not picking up.
She's really sleeping hard.
Dan Bluth also made American Tail, which we all know. Well, I don't know. We've probably talked... We've been doing this for a year. I'm sure we've mentioned several times that the American Tail song makes me cry like a baby. So there's the song in the credits that's dedicated to her that of course I listened to and of course I cried. So both of Judith's parents, Josef and Maria, they fled communist Hungary in the 1950s.
Speaking of Maria, she might show up at some point of this podcast tonight.
Maria might show up. There might be some Maria in the house. So the couple moved to California, and on June 6th, which was not that long ago.
Right.
1978, Judith was born. She had a growth hormone deficiency. She went to UCLA for special treatment because she was so small. Even at 10 years old, she would get cast as kids as young as 6 years old.
Yeah.
Because she was so little. And she has such a cute little voice. As Judith's career started taking off, Josef became jealous and would threaten to kill himself and his wife and his daughter.
Because she was
doing
famous?
Really... Yeah, he had a severe drinking problem. He had been arrested 3 different times for drunk driving. In December of 1986, Maria called the police to report his threats of violence towards her and Judith, but after the police found no physical signs of abuse, Maria decided not to press charges. This is just my opinion, but I think Josef probably threatened her to do that, based on what we all know about domestic violence.
Right.
Josef reportedly stopped drinking, but he still threatened Judith and Maria, telling them that he was going to cut their throats and burn down the house. Josef abused Judith really really badly. She would throw pots and pans at her, and all of the abuse caused Judith to gain a bunch of weight. She developed trichomania, which is like when you
your
pull
hair
out.
falls out?
No, it's when you pull out your hair. And she specifically would pull out her eyelashes, and she would pull out her cat's whiskers.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
That's really fucked up.
Yeah, while she was on the set, do they call it the set for voice acting? Yeah.
I'm like you're probably
voice
in like
set. You're in a
like
sound
recording
booth.
Studio,
yeah, she started breaking down, and they
girl.
Yeah, Judith, and so she went and saw a child psychologist who was able to identify the severe physical and emotional abuse that she had suffered and reported it to Child Protective Services. But the investigation was dropped after Maria told the caseworker that she was going to divorce Yosef, and she and Judith were going to move away. Friends pled with her to actually follow through with the plans, but she didn't want to lose her family, home, and all of her possessions. On the evening of July 25th, 1988, Judith Barsi was last seen riding her bike through a neighborhood. That night, Yosef shot Judith while she was sleeping, and then he murdered Maria. Yosef
How'd he kill her?
He shot both of them just in the head. The next 2 days he spent just kind of walking around the house in like a daze with the dead bodies, I would like to say. During that time, he had a phone call with Judith's agent and told them that he was moving out for good and just needed time to say goodbye to his little girl.
Ugh, that's awful.
Yosef then poured gasoline on Maria and Judith's body, set them on fire, and then went to the garage and shot himself in the head. And the song that they played at the end of, I'm going to start crying, I think.
Yeah, it's really fucked
the
up.
song they play at the end of All Dogs Heaven is called Love Survives, and it's dedicated to her. Aww. It's a short little story, but I felt, we talked,
a good one.
And we talked about her, and she fucking was really good in Jaws.
Yeah.
And it was hard for everyone.
It's hard to be in Jaws.
It's hard to be in the fourth Jaws, where even poor Judith was probably like, okay,
stressed.
Or like, okay, so how, I don't understand the plot. How does Jaws find us?
Right. She's like, I'm very, very confused.
She's like, I'm very confused. How did he even know what like, airplane, like,
yeah,
you know.
how does the shark know where to go?
And when I was like looking up like the celebrity deaths, I was like, whoa, I gotta do. And she was only like 10 years old, or she was 12 maybe, I don't know. It's
really sad.
It's very sad.
Poor Judith.
Poor little Judy.
Little Judy and little Maria.
Little Judy and little Maria.
So, I will do my story now. And actually the reason that I because I said I wanted to do this episode, the celebrity murders, it was kind of because of this one.
Okay.
So this one is actually a celebrity murderer.
Oh, so the celebrity is the person who murdered.
Correct.
So like OJ.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you know who Johnny Lewis is?
No.
Okay, so he probably most notably was in Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, I didn't watch the show though.
Kip Epps, his name was Half Sack because he like lost one of his balls like in Afghanistan.
Oh boy.
He was also he was also in The OC.
Let me look him up.
Chili.
He played Chili.
When you see a picture of him, you'll know.
Oh, I think I know.
He was in Raise Your Voice with Hilary Duff.
I think I know exactly who this is, or I don't.
I think you will.
I think I will too, hopefully.
And hopefully you as an audience are also IMDbing Johnny Lewis right now.
Unless you're driving, please don't be on the phone and drive.
He also was in CSI, Bones, Criminal Minds. He did a lot of like TV.
So he was on all those TV shows.
Yeah, he was also in the Alien vs. Predator movie, Requiem. He played Ricky.
Okay. I'm like trying... It's not the same guy who was in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
No.
Remake. Okay, well then my internet is going slower than
I got you, fam.
molasses.
Hang on, found it.
This is so interesting for the podcast. Oh my god, yes!
You know him?
Yes.
Have you heard about all this?
I've heard about this story, but I would love to hear it from your mouth.
Okay. So
yeah, he was literally in like oh fuck. He was on this MTV show I loved.
Which one? So he was in Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
He was in Boston Public, and he was in Seventh Heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that Seventh Heaven curse.
Yeah. So,
But he was in this show on MTV, and it was called, like, Now What or something.
Okay.
It was it was bad. I only liked it because me and my friend only liked it because there were hot boys on it.
Yes.
And they were like naughty, and we're
Naughty.
fucking going through a teenage phase, so anyone saying
sure.
anything would. The second a guy
and
said
he was really Johnny
boner,
was really handsome.
he was handsome.
So he, I don't want to like go too deep into like his childhood, but he grew up like in Scientology.
Oh boy.
His parents actually attained the highest available level within Scientology. Oh, sorry, that's my birth control alarm.
Everyone go take
That
your
happened in the
pill.
first episode too.
Aw, cute.
Anyway, so his parents were like basically in this like high up group level within Scientology.
Okay, so they probably were in the operating seating.
Yep. So he was.
I know.
He starred in Scientology training.
So
movies.
they were OTs.
Yeah. He was a sponsor for the Scientology drug rehabilitation group called Narconon.
Yeah, Narconon.
Yeah.
Oh God.
That's like the one really good thing about like Scientology is they actually have a really good like.
They do, but it's really fucked up because you have to sign the billion. I mean, I don't want to talk shit about Scientology because I don't want to die, but
yeah. So speaking of Scientology, Johnny left the church when he was like in his early 20s, and he moved out on his own to be an actor. And like I said, he started making a lot of television appearances, and he was also like a writer. He was a poet and a painter. He dated Katy Perry for a little bit.
cool. Did she kiss him and like it?
I think so. But so in 2011, he suffered from a motorcycle head injury.
Oh yes.
And like his family and everyone just said that's when his personality just like completely changed.
Yeah.
He started breaking the law a lot. He was arrested 3 times between 2011 and 2012. In January of 2012, he was arrested for armed assault. He hit 2 guys in the head with a bottle while they were like all fighting, I guess.
Uh-huh.
So during this time when he was having like these outbreaks, his father was trying to get him to seek psychiatric help, like brain scans, things like that. But he refused to go, and he was arrested and he was in jail. But on September 21st in 2012, he left jail. 5 days later, in the Los Feliz neighborhood near Hollywood, Johnny's body was found on the driveway of a home owned by a woman named Catherine Davis.
His body was found? He was in, like, her yard?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So this woman, Catherine, was his landlord. Oh. She was 81 years old.
Aww.
So it appeared that Johnny had died from either being pushed or more likely falling off the roof or jumping of her home.
Huh.
When the LAPD searched inside the home, they also found the body of Catherine.
Yeah.
Johnny had murdered her by apparent blunt force trauma to the head. Catherine, known most affectionately by her tenants as Miss Kathy, was a fighter because Johnny's body had like partial strangulation and a bunch of fingernail marks to the neck.
Oh, so he had like defense wounds of the butthole.
He also beat her cat to death.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
Come on.
Apparently, he had also he hopped Miss Kathy's fence at some point of this, and he started fighting these 2 dudes, and then like jumped back over.
A man of his normal
toxicology reports stated that he had no drugs in his system at all.
Because he was
at the time of the murders.
It's because he got hit in the head, dude.
Yeah. His family has been like really outspoken about like
don't get hit
trauma.
in the head.
Yeah,
yeah,
and
it's
how fucked
true.
up it is, and like.
They're probably really big with the whole concussion thing with the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, I've had conversations with people who think that the NFL is, in a few years, will not be a thing. It will be because it makes people so much fucking
WWE is
movie.
making, like, their own, like, football league now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just fucking go to touch football. Everybody wear pennies.
Everyone just play powder puff.
Yeah, one team wears yellow pennies. And remember pennies?
Team wears green. I remember pennies.
I remember pennies. Oh, I used to get the nastiest pennies that were like broken on the side, and I'm like, really?
Like mildew.
Why? Yeah, they never watch those fucking pennies.
Pennies are gross.
Pennies are gross. So I think we should take a moment to hear a word from our sponsors.
You guys know who our sponsors are. Holly, do you know what one of my biggest pet peeves is?
Is it when Tuesday starts eating her food loudly right as we're about to start recording the podcast every week?
Yeah, but also, you know, like when your headphones or your earbuds or whatever get all tangled up and there's a million little knots and you can't get them out?
I hate that too, which is why I've been loving our new Studio Bluetooth headphones. Even the cord they do provide if you don't feel like using Bluetooth isn't one of those skinny little cords that get tangled super duper easy. Everything about the Studio design is a sleek and unbelievably streamlined process.
Studio was inspired by the beauty and vibrance of Stockholm, Sweden, and they believe remaining true to their Scandinavian roots is what has helped get them where they are today.
Studio wants to revolutionize the way consumers see headphones and earbuds, not just as a tech device, but also as a gorgeous accessory that you'll be proud to wear out and about.
I know, I've already taken several cute photos with my headphones. Holly and I both got the Regent on-ear model, and we also both got the really cute marble interchangeable caps that they provide. And people keep coming up to me asking me where I've got them, because they don't look like any other headphone really out there, like on the market right now.
No, same here. They're definitely a piece of art, and you can wear them around, and as an artist, I'm obsessed. Their minimalistic look is very cute.
Studio also has smaller earbuds like their tray design that are amazing for working out. They're sweat-proof, and they have custom wingtips so they fit very securely around your ear.
What the frick are you waiting for? Go to their website, studio.com, to get your first pair of headphones or earbuds, and if you use our promo code, the Sisters Grimm, that's with 2 M's, you'll get 15% off.
That's right, the Sisters Grimm 2 M's for 15% off your entire order today.
All right, so it's been 15 years since we took the last break.
It seems like it.
It feels like it. I stepped on an earring. It was very blunt. It hurt weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
Maria's here now, sleeping. Tuesday started fucking
nap.
eating.
Just, like, napping a little bit.
Tuesday's like sleeping on Tuesday, like or on Morgan.
She's sleeping on my butt. It's cool.
It's like whatever. So my next celebrity murder is the murder of Phil Hartman.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear you talk about this.
Yeah, it's very sad, but Phil was an amazing man. He was born Philip Edward Hartman on September 24th, 1948 in Brantford, Ontario, Canada. So he was a Canadian. He was a Canuck.
Yep.
He was a huge Catholic family. He had 7 siblings, but he felt like he kind of got lost in the shuffle, so that's where he developed his sense of comedy, kind of, you know, as all of us comics do. We're very annoying as children.
Totally.
We're like, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. And if you don't, then we're like, nyeh. So his family moved to the U.S. when he was 10. He went to college for graphic design, which I thought was kind of cool. Because I am a graphic designer. He started his own graphic art business and created the logo for Crosby, Stills and Nash, like the band.
Yeah.
So Phil holds a lot of deep place in my heart, that he was both a designer and a comedian, and one of the greatest comedians the world has ever seen. He started out at Groundlings in LA, which is like a comedy troupe and a school, and that is where you kind of do character work. So really notable people who went there were, and these are in no particular order of like when they went there, but Jillian Bell from Workaholics, Kathy Griffin, Lisa Kudrow, Will Ferrell, Anna Gasteyer, Maya Rudolph, Sherry O'Terry, Will Forte, Chris Parnell, John Lovitz, Taran Killam, and Kristen Wiig, just to name a few. Yeah, so that's where they came up. I mean, like, you know, Kristen Wiig
of course,
has fucking amazing character work, Maya Rudolph, and so that's like where and that's what Phil was so amazing at, and he was on SNL as well. He was on 155 episodes. He was on, I believe, for 14 years, so he would have had 2 contracts. He was a writer, and he was also on it. Big, notable, like, he had main characters. He was in
skits.
Like, he was there, like, in the earlier days when, like, some people were there, and then when he was there later... Yeah. Yeah. Like... Well, because when he was there, it was all people like around his age, and then towards the end when he left, he realized it was kind of a younger crowd, and he was ready. It was time to go. But he like left amicably, and he left around the time when Adam Sandler was there, and Adam Sandler gave him the nickname the Glue because he like kept everyone together, and he was always like that person. He was always that person in skits that was like you could use them for anything. Yeah, but his big thing was like his characters. He was so fucking good. He played President Reagan and President Clinton. And there's a really, really funny sketch where he's Bill Clinton at a McDonald's, and he'll just go up to people, and there's this woman, I forget her name, but she's one of the cast members, and he's like, oh, your baby is so cute. Are you done eating them fries? And he just keeps walking up to people.
Fries.
I don't know, fries. Yeah, that's why I thought you'd think it was funny.
Ah, sweet.
but like, it's basically him just like walking up to people and like a little bit of talk about politics, and then he's like, "Oh, hey, are you done with that cheeseburger?" It's so amazing.
Hey, can I get the rest of that Shamrock Shake?
Yeah, and then he played like evil President Reagan. It was really funny. But technically, and he never knew this because he died, he played 3 presidents because he also used to play Donald Trump.
Ew.
Because he was on the show during the big not Ivanka. He was not married to Ivanka.
Divorce?
Yeah, the big divorce. Which was, I forget her name, and I feel like a dick, but I know it was Jill something. But like they were like the 2 main big people. Jan Hooks. I apologize. Jan Hooks. Like, they were, like, the mains.
Yeah.
And they were always, she was Ivana. He left the show in 1984, like I said, because he didn't feel that it was really his brand of comedy anymore, which is kind of like how SNL is supposed to work. It's supposed to be topical. Mm-hmm. And also, he felt like I said, like, the people he did it, he started with, like, John Lovitz and Jan Hooks. Like, they had already left. He was like, I'm done. But he's also very well known for the Simpsons, doing various voices, but his most popular character was Troy McClure, who always was the announcer for their, like, documentaries. He was amazing. He was so fucking funny, and him and Matt Groening became really, really close, and he was actually only supposed to be on 1 episode, but the writers and the people on the show loved him so much, and he ended up being in 52 episodes, lending his voice. He also was in movies like Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Sergeant Bilko, So I'm Married, an Ex-Murderer, Coneheads, and Jingle All the Way.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So in November of 1987... I'm stupid. I have, what did I...
It's like numerology,
it's calculexia.
Yeah.
It's like number dyslexia. It's a real thing. Look it up.
Look it up, it's hard.
So in numbers are hard. In November of 1987, Phil married former model and aspiring actress Bryn Omdahl, and the couple had 2 children together. Bryn was an absolutely gorgeous woman. There's an episode on the Oxygen Channel. There's a show, I guess, on it called Snapped.
Yeah.
And it's about people, who...
I'm going to watch that.
It's a good one. I kind of feel like the title's a little problematic, but it's like, whatever.
Snapped?
Because it's like, they like went crazy. But it's like, maybe they had a mental illness, and I don't know. It's one of those fine lines. It just, I don't know. But anywho, so she started out with the name Vicky, and she, like all of us who want to start a modeling career, went to Minnesota.
For sure.
Yeah, I went to Minneapolis. So
where the modeling is really red hot.
Yeah. I would suggest paying for the documentary if you're going to watch it, but it's also on Daily Motion, but it's flipped, so all the text and like chyrons.
By documentary, do you mean Snapped?
Yeah,
that was just a TV show that came on Oxygen.
Yeah.
I used to watch it at the gym in Florida.
Oh, that's cute. I'd shell out the $3 to watch it on Amazon. Mm-hmm. So she soon realized that she wasn't going to rise to fame in Minnesota. Doy. So she headed to LA, but her career didn't take off like she had hoped and found it very hard finding jobs. I mean, you go from being hot stuff in Minnesota.
Yeah, big fish in a little pond.
And then you go to LA where everyone is like genetically programmed to be gorgeous. Mm-hmm. So the relationship seemed great from the outside. Like, they seemed very happy with each other, but Bryn was really intimidated by Phil's success because she wasn't getting any acting gigs and was incredibly jealous, but neither Phil or Bryn wanted a divorce, and Phil was considering retiring, like, comedy and all that shit, just to, like, spend more time with his family. And, like, I can understand being frustrated occasionally, like, for someone being married to someone on SNL because they have such crazy hours.
Yeah.
And so, but I think most of the anger was stemmed from the fact that he was doing better professionally than she was.
And she was jealous.
Yes. And Phil tried really hard to get Bryn acting roles, but her, like, alcoholism, and she got really into narcotics.
Yeah.
She became very reliant on that and went to rehab several times. On May 27th, 1998, which was only a couple weeks ago, that was the 20th anniversary of this, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Bryn went out to dinner to a Buca di Beppo, which is a chain.
Buca di Beppo, yeah.
Yeah, they, like, take you on a tour and, like, throw tomatoes at you or something. In Encino, California, with a friend who said that she seemed to be in, like, normal spirits, nothing off. When Bryn got home, she and Phil got into a heated argument, and he threatened to leave her if he started using drugs again. And then he went into his room and went to bed. A little before 3 a.m. on May 28th, so that was the actual anniversary, Bryn entered the bedroom where she and Phil, I think they were probably not sleeping together if they were arguing this much.
Right.
She went in the room where Phil was sleeping and fatally shot him twice in the head and once in his side. At the time of the murder, Bryn was heavily intoxicated and on a buttload of cocaine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, after murdering Phil, she drove to her friend Ron Douglas's house, where she confessed to killing Phil, but he didn't believe her, so they drove back to Hartman's house. They drove separately, and on the way back, Bryn called another friend and also confessed to killing Phil.
Wow.
When Bryn and Ron got to the house and Ron saw Phil's body, he was like, "Oh, fuck," and called 911. But Bryn went upstairs and locked herself in the bedroom with Phil's dead body.
Wow.
She like became hysterical, and so Los Angeles police came and they got Ron rather, and the children who were there during all of this.
Oh my god!
Out of the house. Meanwhile, Bryn kills herself. She puts the gun in her mouth, pulls the trigger. Yeah. They said that Phil's death was caused by domestic violence between the couple, and Bryn had trouble controlling her anger and liked getting attention from losing her temper. There's a lot of conjecture about what caused Bryn to murder Phil. Some say that she had been taking the antidepressant Zoloft at the time of the murder. There was also a wrongful death suit filed in 1999 by Bryn's family against the drug manufacturer, and another filed against their children's psychiatrist who provided samples to Bryn, which is fucking... He's not her doctor.
Yeah.
She's just there with her kid, who's little.
Yeah.
And so she has to be present, and he's just, just giving out samples to someone he hasn't even, you know...
Yeah.
She may... I mean, like, you don't know what other things she could have wrong with her. And
what other drugs she could be taking.
And
that don't line up with that.
Exactly. And so who knows how it could have affected her, since she wasn't, like I said, diagnosed. And he's just passing out samples like it's fucking Halloween.
Yeah.
And so then there was a countersuit, but Bryn's family ended up winning like $30,000.
Damn.
So, yeah. Also, John Lovitz, who was like best friends with Phil Hartman, love John Lovitz. He firmly believes that Andy Dick reintroduced cocaine to Bryn after she had gotten clean and she had suffered from a nervous breakdown.
Andy Dick?
Andy Dick.
Fuck?
Yeah, he claims that he had absolutely nothing to do with it and he wasn't aware of her condition. And I don't know if it's true or not, but in 2006, Lovitz said that Andy approached him at a restaurant and said, "I put the Phil Hartman hex on you. You're the next one to die." To which John Lovitz responded with smashing Andy Dick's face into the bar.
Oh my god.
I would pay
so much money
to have seen John Lovitz.
Holy
my god.
balls.
Yeah. So, yeah. that's that. I mean, I'm Team John Lovitz all the time.
John Lovitz.
The one with the
100%.
stone guy, if you're a Friends fan. The one with the stone guy.
Or the one where, like, Rachel goes on a really bad date with him.
It's the same guy, and he's like, I have a small dick. It's
good.
Yep. So,
that's Phil Hartman.
But, yeah, also some Phil Hartman facts. After working with Matt Groening for The Simpsons for so long, when Matt created Futurama, which I always fucking talk about, the character Zap Brannigan was written specifically for Phil, but he still insisted on auditioning, and Matt said, obviously, that he crushed. And since Phil died before, like, recording or filming, whatever started, he could never do Zap. So it was Billy West, who plays Fry, whose full name is Philip J. Fry, and he's named after Phil Hartman. Yeah. The day Phil died, The Simpsons canceled their rehearsal for the day, and rather than substituting another voice actor, they retired all of Phil's characters. And the episode Bart, the Mother, in season 10 is dedicated to him. Some other things that I thought were interesting was that Phil... one of his big characters on SNL was Frank Sinatra, and they died the same exact month. Wow. He was quoted as saying, I'm 49 years old, and I'm cautious of the fact that very few people in comedy have careers after 50. Yeah. He died almost exactly 4 months before turning 50 years old. Also, he went to Westchester High School at the same exact time as Lynette Squeaky Fromm, a.k.a. homies with Charles Manson, who took part in the Sharon Tate killing.
Whoa.
Yeah. His send-off on his send-off on SNL is one of the most beautiful things in the world. It is like the whole cast singing a parody of like the hello, or like hello, goodbye, Auf Wiedersehen, adieu. And then it ends with like all the characters are dressed up as like they're like who they're really known for at the time. And so the last one is obviously Chris Farley as Matt Foley, and Hartman, and he like curls up and like Matt and like Phil Hartman's arms, and he like sings to him, and it's beautiful. And it's also really crazy because they died within 6 months of one another.
Oh my god.
Yeah, at the Simpsons part, I almost thought I was gonna start crying. But yeah, it's really fucking sad that mental illness is an epidemic, and we don't know everything, and we need to, as a society, try harder. And I think it probably could have been prevented if she had been treated for it. Maybe I honestly don't know, but
yeah.
It was an amazing, amazing man taken far, far too soon. He was a great guy.
Yeah. Well,
on that note, let's talk about something else really sad.
Yeah. So, my second pick was the murder of Dorothy Stratten. Do you know anything about this?
I've heard of the name.
So she was a Playboy Playmate. She was Playboy Playmate of the Month for August of 1979, and then she was Playmate of the Year 1980.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I got
First Playmate of the 80s.
Yeah, exactly. She rang in the 80s.
She rang in the 80s with them titties.
Yeah. So I got a lot of my information from an article that was written by Teresa Carpenter titled Death of a Playmate, which won a Pulitzer Prize.
Hell yes!
So Dorothy Ruth Hoog Stratten, later to be known as Dorothy Stratten, was born February 28th, 1960. She lost the hoogs. I agree,
I agree with losing the hoog.
Cut the hoogs, baby.
Get that hoog out of there.
Stratten.
I don't got time for hoog.
So she was born in Vancouver, so she's a
Canuck.
A Canuck. In 1977...
Should we sing all of the Canadian anthem since we both randomly know it as a tribute? No. But y'all know that we know it.
Y'all know we know. So in 1977, when Dorothy was just 17...
In 1432. And 11T20T. So, inside joke. Okay, bye.
At this time, when Dorothy was 17, she met a man named Paul Snyder while she was working part-time at a Dairy Queen. And she was also still in high school. Paul was a local club promoter and a literal pimp. And
actual pimp.
He was 26 at the time when he met Dorothy. Snyder grew up in Vancouver's East End, which was kind of like a rough area.
Oh, it still is. It's I've heard that it's more dangerous even than, like, fucking Detroit.
Oh, fuck.
Or, like, or, like, whatever the bad part of St. Louis is.
Yeah.
It's the worst, I've heard. It's the absolute...
Yeah.
And I've heard Atlanta's really bad, too. I mean, obviously, we live in Chicago. It's real bad here. It's not the best, but I've heard Vancouver is gnarly bad. Yeah.
So, Snyder quit school, actually, during grade 7. I know that's how they do it in Canada because of Degrassi.
I would get so fucking confused. I'm like, what?
7.
I'm like, are they aliens?
Right.
I'm like, what are they talking about?
So Snyder would wear bejeweled star. He would wear a bejeweled Star of David necklace, like, around his neck, and he was known around town as the Jewish pimp.
I'm actually not upset about that, and I think I've seen a porn called Jewish Pimp.
I'm sure that exists. Just because we've already said it out loud, it exists.
Oh yeah, Rule 34 of the internet.
Yeah.
The internet.
So he wasn't making a lot of money pimping.
He was a poor pimp. He was a bad pimp.
Also, is pimping, like, the correct term?
Yes.
Yeah?
Because they're pimping out women.
Yeah.
They're taking a cut of their money, and they're,
So he was
upside
actually,
the head in them.
He was actually really scared to go to jail, which is why he kind of wanted to stop pimping. He was quoted saying, "I would kill myself before I go to jail."
Oh boy.
Yeah. So when Snyder met Dorothy, he knew that, like, she had that, like, it girl quality. Like, she was just, like, very beautiful. She didn't, like, wear a lot of makeup. She didn't need...
I've seen her. She's very gorgeous.
She's gorgeous.
Gorgeous woman.
So he entered her in the running for Playboy's 25th anniversary Playmate, which she lost to Candy Loving. But she was, like I said, named the Playmate of the Month, August 1979. And that's, like, around the time when she became Playmate of the Month. That's when she dropped the hoogs and became Dorothy Stratten. And she gained a lot of popularity, like, in other places, and she started acting in a lot of different projects.
Yeah, that's cool.
And around this time, also in Las Vegas on June 1st of 1979, so probably right before she was named Playmate of the Year.
Oh, okay.
Like, a little before that.
Uh-huh.
She got married to Snyder.
Uh-huh.
But then 6 months later, she was offered her biggest role in a movie called They All Laughed. Have you ever heard of this movie?
Yeah, it's with Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah. And Ben Gazzara.
I vaguely remember it, but Mom loves watching
I know.
Audrey Hepburn movies, so I've seen all of them, and They All Laughed is good. I mean, I fucking love Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah.
Bitch is great.
So Stratten started having an affair with the director of the film, Peter Bogdanovich. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, you're saying that correctly. Bogdanovich.
Yeah. Do you know who that is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Soon after the filming began, so they started having this kind of right away. Hugh Hefner was quoted as saying that he thought of himself as a father figure to Dorothy.
Gross.
And that she came to him about marrying Snyder, and that she had, like, serious reservations about him.
Always trust your gut, girlies.
She hated that he would, like, gloat about, like, her success as though, like, he was the reason that she's, like basically, like, saying, like, he pimped her out, and that's why, like, she's doing so well. Yeah. And so, like, not much later, she ended their marriage.
Smart.
Yeah, so Paul Snyder was obviously, like, super pissed because, like, that it's not like he had anything else going for him other than basically, like, being with her.
He wasn't an actor or anything?
He was literally a pimp.
Oh, he was Paul Snyder
because he would, like, tell her to, like, he was very, like, territorial, but he would also be like, you should sleep with Hugh Hefner.
Oh.
And, like, you should, like, sleep with this guy to get this, and you should sleep with this guy to get this, and, like, he was very, like,
the opposite of danger. Wow.
Yeah.
That's very the opposite of indecent proposure. That's like, no, propose whatever you want. It's cool.
It's fine.
It's decent proposal. Continue.
So around the time when she ended the marriage, he bought a gun with the intention of scaring Bogdanovich. And so Dorothy actually met with Snyder at his home Thursday, August 4th, 1980. She had to pay Snyder the property settlement for their separation, which I know nothing about, just so everyone's aware. Dorothy's manager...
Morgan is not an attorney.
Don't know anything about that.
Not aware.
Dorothy's manager actually told Dorothy that she should just have her lawyer, like, deal with him. Mm-hmm. And she's like, you shouldn't go there. Like, you'll never have to see him again. Just have your lawyer take everything over. And she said
I've heard that with those kind of things, you just have the lawyers deal with it because you don't want
Well, especially if it's like a very rocky relationship.
Exactly. You don't want anything bad coming back on you. You just want the people who know what the fuck they're doing to just take care of it. Yeah. And you just hope that your people know what the fuck they're doing more.
Yeah. But she didn't want to do that. She said that she thought it would be better if she dealt with him herself and explained that he was being really nice about everything and that she still wanted to stay his friend.
That's
because they had known each other since she was like 17. I mean, not that she was much older at this point, but so Dorothy was supposed to pick her sister up around like 11 p.m. and she never showed up, which was very unlike her.
Yeah.
I know, this made me think of you and me. Like, if I was like, I'm going to come over, and then I just never came over. Yeah.
I know, whenever I read stories like that and just like thinking, like, it's just so heartbreaking of just thinking of someone waiting.
Yeah.
And waiting, and then that person just never coming.
Yeah, it's really fucked up.
It's like the saddest thing.
Yeah.
Because it's sad that when people die, but it's sad that it affects every single person in that person's life, and they're sad forever.
Yeah.
It sucks.
So, Snyder apparently had a private investigator as well. And, like, because we all have private investigators, right?
Yeah, that's a little paranoia.
Right. But so he hadn't heard from Snyder for a long time, and so he got worried, and so he, like, called Snyder's roommates, because I guess they, like, all lived in a house together, and they had actually been home, and they just assumed that he was in his room or something, because the door was locked, and they were just like, okay, whatever. So they went to his room, they, like, broke in the door, and they found the dead bodies of Dorothy and Paul. Paul shot Dorothy in the head with a shotgun, and then he raped her, and, like, beat her, and then, like, shot himself in the head.
Oh my God.
She was only 20 years old.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I did not know those details. I just know that she's like the Playboy.
Yeah.
The Playboy girl who got. Oh my God, that's horrible.
2 films were made depicting the murder. There was a made-for-TV movie called Death of a Centerfold, the Dorothy Stratten story, where Jamie Lee Curtis played her.
Fuck off!
Yeah, speaking of the fucking Halloween trailer.
Speaking of fucking Jamie Lee.
And there's also a movie called Star 80, which was also about it. So after this happened, Peter his name is so hard to say.
You said it really well.
Bogdanovich? Bogdanovich ended up marrying Dorothy's sister after she died, his little sister, and at the time when they got married, she was only 20 years old.
And he was old.
And he was 49, and they were married for 13 years, and they divorced in 2001.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's a bonkers story. That's really Dorothy fucking Stratten. Sad. All of our stories ended with everybody died.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was all murder-suicides.
Yeah. Wow.
I think because in all of these attacks, I mean, the only celebrity murder I think that I can at least think of that one. I shouldn't. No, I think there's other celebrities that have been killed by.
You gonna say OJ?
Well, no, and like Selena,
right,
was killed by fan, but like it seems like a lot of these seem to be domestic type situations, which is really, really, really sad, and they're just like us.
Yeah, and there's no like you can't like put a gender on like domestic abuse.
No, you really can't.
Yeah, people always think it's like the guy.
Yeah,
but
women
it's
can
just as easily women, like
I mean, and to say that a woman can't physically abuse a man is ridiculous, and physical abuse isn't the only form of abuse you can do. You can abuse people in so many different ways. You can physically, obviously you can emotionally abuse them, mentally abuse them, just break them completely down to the point where they do things like, taking back what they say, like recanting and not pressing charges, and you don't know what anything like that is until you go through it yourself, and you can only say as an outsider what you think you would do. But like, I mean, when you're in those kind of situations, especially if you have children involved, it's a really fucking shitty situation. And I think we as a society are slowly but surely trying to get there. I think there are enough
I think
people.
we need to try harder, like you were
I
saying.
think we need to try a lot harder. It's becoming a much bigger epidemic. I mean, we did take a big hiatus, but I mean, this was the week of both Anthony Bourdain and Kate Spade.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, obviously, like, you can't fuck around with depression.
Yeah.
It's a silent killer. It's
it
a
has
silent
no
disease.
age. Like, people always think like young people.
Yeah, no, it has no
Yeah.
age. It's a silent disease. No one, because everyone is always like, "Oh, I never would have." It's because it's really easy to put on a mask.
Yeah,
and it's really sucks. And talk to people if you ever need help. Talk to me or Morgan. Honestly, if you're listening right now and you need help, like, we don't fucking care if it's the first time we ever talk to you in your life.
Yeah, I used to write an advice column when I was in high school.
She's laughing because we used to make up the, like, questions, and then
sometimes
it was fun.
It was fun.
We had a good time.
Ask Morgan.
Ask Morgan. So that has been our episode this week. For whatever reason, we either forgot to record an ending or it got deleted. Either way, I am here to finish out the episode. Follow us on Twitter at Sisters Grimm Pod. You can follow us and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Sisters Grimm Podcast. Follow us on Instagram at The Sisters Grimm Podcast. You can follow me at Holly Cheeseburger. Morgan is Morgan D. Freeberg. One last thing before signing off. A dear friend died in a drunk driving accident over the weekend. She was in a Lyft car. Drunk driver hit him. She's no longer with us anymore. And so if you guys could go to her GoFundMe page, any bit, any little teeny amount is more appreciative than you will ever know. Go to GoFundMe.com. Anadari, which is ANUDARI hyphen Anna ANNA hyphen Bayara BAYARAA 039S hyphen memorial. We're also going to post the link to all of our social media pages. For all of our Chicago listeners and anyone in the Chicago area, please come this Thursday, that's June 14th, I realize it's very short notice, to Declan's Irish Pub. It is here in Chicago. Like I said, it is at 1240 North Wells Street, Chicago, Illinois. It's going to be a celebration of this beautiful girl's life who was taken far too soon from us, and it is also a fundraiser with 20% of all the money they make going towards her family. So please come out Thursday night, and also make sure to check the GoFundMe page. Again, every little bit counts, and everyone be safe out there. Everybody loves you. Goodbye.